2026 Essex County Board of Supervisors regular meeting to order, please. Board members, please stand for an invocation. Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight. We thank you for this rain that our farmers desperately need, and so do our lawns. We ask that you be with us tonight and guide our minds and our thoughts and our actions as we do the work of the county for the best interest of our citizens. And all things we do to glorify you. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Amen. Please turn and face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. April, you do a roll call, please.
Chairman Akers.
Present.
Vice Chairman Gill.
Present.
Supervisor Hale.
Present.
Supervisor Henry.
Here.
Supervisor Magruder.
Here.
Thank you, gentlemen. You have quorum.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Get a motion to approve the agenda as written.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. And we have a recognition. We have a couple, actually. We're going to start with Vice Chairman Gill.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I have the honor tonight to present a proclamation from this board to some folks in the audience that are with the Virginia Farm Bureau. And I'm going to ask for all of them to come forward, and I'm going to step down and we'll read this proclamation. So I know Thomas Henley is going to make some remarks as well. Thomas is the president or the chair of the Young Farmers group at Farm Bureau, correct? So can I have the Farm Bureau folks step up?
And we consider Faye being a young farmer as well. At heart, right?
All right, it's my pleasure. This is a County of Essex proclamation, and I'm going to read it out. Whereas agriculture is the oldest and largest industry in the Commonwealth of Virginia and remains an essential pillar of the economic vitality, cultural heritage, and community fabric of Essex County and the greater Northern Neck region. And whereas the sustainability, innovation, and long-term security of our food, fiber, and agricultural systems depend directly upon the passion, dedication, and leadership of the next generation of agricultural professionals. And whereas the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation Young Farmers Program serves as a vital champion for farmers and agribusiness professionals age 18 to 35, providing invaluable opportunities for leadership development, professional networking, and advocacy. And whereas Essex County, with its historic seat in Tappahannock and deep agricultural roots, is proud to welcome the 2026 Virginia Farm Bureau Young Farmers Summer Expo to our community and to the Northern Neck from July 24th through July 26, 2020. July 24th through July 26, 2026. And whereas this premier statewide event will garner nearly 200 young agricultural leaders to explore the diverse and thriving farming operations of our region, engage in impactful professional development workshops, and network with industry peers. And whereas the Summer Expo will feature critical state-level competitions showcasing the best of Virginia's agricultural talent, including the Achievement Award, the Excellence in Agriculture Award, the Discussion Meet, and the Outstanding Young Agriculturalist Award for exceptional high school leaders. And whereas hosting the expo presents a remarkable opportunity to highlight the unique strengths of Northern Neck agriculture, boost our local economy, and foster an environment that empowers young producers to grow, succeed, and continue cultivating the future right here at home. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of Supervisors of Essex County, Virginia, that the board hereby extends its warmest welcome and formal endorsements to the Virginia Farm Bureau Young Farmers Summer Expo, taking place July 24th through 26, 2026. Be it further proclaimed that the board encourages all citizens, local businesses, and agricultural stakeholders to recognize the vital role our young farmers play in securing their future, to celebrate their achievements, and to extend our signature hospitality to all Expo attendees visiting the historic Northern Neck. Here too, signed by the chairman and caused to be affixed the seal of the Essex County Board of Supervisors this 7th day of July, 2026. So I'll present this to you, Thomas, as the chair, and thank you, Faye. Kelly's over there. So I think you want to make a few remarks, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And y'all excuse me for being soaking wet. We got rain on, but I know better than to complain about
Yeah,
that.
it's understood.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chairman and members of the board, for having us tonight. On behalf of the Virginia Farm Bureau Young Farmers, I just want to say a huge thank you for this proclamation and for such a warm welcome. We are incredibly excited to bring nearly 200 young farmers, which, Kelly, I think it's over 200 now, that have registered already. So we're excited to bring all these young farmers and agribusiness professionals to Essex County and the Northern Neck in just a few short weeks. When we were looking for the perfect backdrop for our summer expo this year, coming here was a no-brainer. As you all know, agriculture isn't just a major economic driver for Virginia, it's the heartbeat of communities like Tappahannock. From July 24th through the 26th, young producers from across the state are going to get an up-close look at the incredible diversity and innovation happening on your local farms. Your proclamation hit the nail on the head. The future of our food and farming systems really does depend on the next generation. That's why our program focuses so heavily on helping young folks between 18 and 35 develop the leadership and advocacy skills they need to help this industry moving forward. While we're in town, we'll also be hosting some intense state-level competitions. Our discussion meet, our Excellence in Ag Award, and our Outstanding Young Agriculturalist contest for high schoolers. You're truly going to see the best and brightest of Virginia agriculture right here in your backyard. We really appreciate the board, the local businesses, and the entire community for opening your arms to us and showing our group that famous Northern Neck hospitality. With your support, we're going to keep cultivating the future for years to come. And we'd also like to ask any of you who are interested to come join us during Expo. You can still register if you'd be interested. We'd love to have you. So thank you so much for your support.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, one other recognition. I just want to recognize Miss Pam Bell. She's our new interim superintendent of our schools, and we're going to bring her up here in a little bit. We get into the superintendent's reports to say a few words and maybe ask our board some questions. And board members, if you have any questions for her, I know she'd be happy to answer them. So welcome to your first Board of Supervisors meeting. Hopefully many more. We'll see you here each month, hopefully. All right, that's great. All right, so moving forward, we'll get into our public hearing. I'll read our public hearing rules of procedure. The purpose of a public hearing is to receive testimony from the public on certain resolutions, ordinances, or amendments prior to taking action. The hearing is not a dialogue or a debate. Its express purpose is to receive additional facts, comments, and opinions on subject items. Speakers should approach the lectern so they may be visible and audible to the board. Each speaker should clearly state his or her name and address. All comments should be directed to the board. All questions should be directed to the chairman. Members of the board are not expected to respond to questions, and responses to questions shall be made at the chairman's discretion. Speakers are encouraged to contact staff regarding unresolved concerns or to receive additional information. Speakers with questions are encouraged to call the county staff prior to the public hearing. Speakers should be brief and avoid repetition of previously presented comments. At the conclusion of the public hearing on each item, the chairman will close the public hearing. The board will proceed with this deliberation and will act on or formally postpone action on such item prior to proceeding to other agenda items. Further public comment after the public hearing has been closed generally will not be permitted. So our first public hearing that we have, the only public hearing we have tonight, is ordinance 26-004. So Brian, I'll let you kind of do the prelude to that.
Thank you, Chairman Akers. Last month, this was presented to you in work session, and I want to thank Lauren for helping me out with that. I did not get to attend. I'd been at the state track meet with my daughter for 3 days and picked up the good old virus from being around 2,000 sweaty people. You guys had 3 major questions that we tried to address with you regarding the B1 zoning classification question. Does that allow for car dealerships, and do other zones allow for car dealerships? Using the use matrix, we tried to kind of break it down there. B1 and B2 do allow for car dealerships. The issue, as you can see there with the highlights, is that it still remains conditional with some of the repair and things that the applicant has indicated that he's gonna require for his business expansion. The by right uses there for the I-1 district are also listed. There was a question about that. They are numerous, and they include many things that perhaps the applicant doesn't want to do. But as you know, with the proffer rules being what they are, staff, we have to be very careful about not requiring proffers, and it's really a subject we try to discuss very, very lightly, just answer questions if they're posed, and that's it. Number 3, does this site lie within the future use of the comprehensive plan? We tried to provide a little map there that shows a rezoning site juxtaposed with the comprehensive plan districts. This is in the deferred development district, and as you see, it's adjacent to the development service district and right along that corridor. The deferred development district, we provide the definition there. Of course, remember, our comprehensive plan is circa 2015, so when it talks about over a 10-year horizon, that 10-year horizon's kind of since passed. So as we're revising and updating the comprehensive plan, we're looking back again at this deferred development service district. But right now, this is the language we have to go on. Up to today, I have received no public input in the form of a letter, email, or anybody walking in and expressing an opinion one way or another about this rezoning. So I don't have objections or support for you other than the applicant. At that time, I'll answer any questions that you guys might have of us from a procedural standpoint.
Board members, any questions for Brian?
I've got a few. I want you to expand a little bit more for me on this deferred development. I'm reading the definition here, and it talks about designated rural residential, or so we have a rural residential district north of this proposed project. Does this project conflict? I mean, they're asking for an I-1 designation, so we're putting industrial next to rural development. So that's kind of my question. Is that the intention of a deferred development service district?
I think and I'll take straight from the language here that the deferred development district would essentially freeze future opportunities for growth in serviceable form as the town core expands. Some 5,000 acres are designated to be deferred development service district. Excuse me. It does not. The problem with this language in here, in answering your question, is that it does not. It's just referring to development. It's not making a distinction between residential development or an industrial sort of development. So it's very hard to tell from this definition exactly what it's intending, other than just development in general, beyond a 10-year time horizon. I think it's reasonable to expect that, since they reference the services that the town could provide in the form of water and sewer, that's what's intended, to try to limit development that needs those types of infrastructure to be put into place until they are put into place with town expansion or town expansion of services. Since this project doesn't require town water or sewer, at least feasibly, it probably does not fit in within that restriction. That's my guess.
And so they would be doing a well
And a private septic of some sort.
Septic system for their proposed development there that they're going to do. You pointed out the permitted uses, Brian. I just wanted to make the board aware that, 3 of them that just caught my eye. If it becomes an industrial, then there's allowed to be warehouse distribution built on site. Small cell facility, which I would assume is somewhat like a data center or battery storage. I'm not sure exactly what they mean by cell, but, and then also solar's permitted there. by right. So the request that they're making, again, is they may have a different use, but you are setting the zoning for the future for that. So whatever decision is made, then a future buyer could buy that piece of land, am I correct? Tear down the dealership and put some industrial solar facility or whatever by right, and we have at that point, we have nothing we can say, because it is by right that they can do. So what I read in there, Brian, was that they wanted to do a commercial, this was information that was provided in the packet, they provided this, they want a commercial truck line for a medium-duty franchise.
Mhm.
But yet, I saw on the plat, they've got it broken into 9 lots. I don't understand why, did they explain why the 9 lots are needed to create a commercial truck line there?
I think that's a question that the applicant could best address
Okay.
as far as what their intentions
Okay.
are with those 9 lots.
Okay.
I think certainly, those are what I would call out parcels, industrial out parcels that a person could lease out in the future for other kind of associated businesses. But that would be speculation on my part.
Because the 9 lots total about 39 acres, give or take a fraction here or there. And that left 77 acres of what they refer to on the survey map as a BMP buffer. But what would keep this 77 acres from being developed in the future? Nothing, right? It would be industrial, so they would be permitted to do whatever by rights they wanted to do, and if they wanted to do anything outside the by right, they would have to come to the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors. Am I reading that right? Other than
Yeah, that's correct.
Other than following what's required by law for the Chesapeake Bay Act, that 77 acres can be developed.
Yeah, if you look at the topography of that land, it's steep, but it would still, as you indicated, it still would be zoned industrial.
And then, in the information that was provided too, talks about a highway corridor enhancement district. Could
Correct.
you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the Highway Corridor Enhancement District is a district that is, as you can see there, because I left the color, I didn't take that layer off just to show it for purposes of understanding. The 360 and 17 corridor throughout most of the county is Highway Corridor Enhancement District. That's a district that has been adopted into the comprehensive plan, but when we updated the 2022 zoning ordinance, it did not become codified into its own zoning overlay. So it really, and it has at this time, it's just a planning tool. It has not yet got, for lack of a better word, teeth to say, okay, within that highway corridor overlay, you have to have certain type of lighting, certain type of landscaping, which is generally what you're gonna want. You're gonna wanna, as you put in any kind of corridor enhancement district, you're gonna wanna do it for aesthetic reasons, safety also, but that is a district that, in the future, I believe the county would probably begin to move into the zoning ordinance also. How that exactly is gonna look remains to be seen, but I left it there just so you can see it, that in thinking about a project, you wanna think about in the future, maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that may have further restrictions on it because it's so close to a major highway.
And talking about safety, and we've had this with several developments about entrance requirements.
Correct.
Would this require an additional entrance? Is this gonna require some modification, for public safety there?
Hypothetically speaking, if the ink was dry on a rezoning tomorrow, for this parcel, they would not have to upgrade the entrance that they have now. As they improve and expand and build the infrastructure that Chevrolet wants them to build, yes, that would trigger new VDOT requirements. They would have to have a commercial entrance to expand to meet that development at that time. just the rezoning itself doesn't automatically trigger that, but certainly the development that the rezoning would allow would definitely.
And my final question is, if their intention is to do a commercial truck line, a medium-duty franchise, as they stated, then looking at your B1, B2 designation, doesn't that accommodate that?
That would accommodate it. The downside to that for the applicant would be that especially if you look at B2 right there, the automobile repair and service aspect of that would be part and parcel of this request is a conditional use permit. So hypothetically speaking, you could ask for the B2 zoning, but you have no guarantee that you'll get the conditional use permit. So once you would obtain that B2, you might still really not be able to operate the business you want to.
Do you have to get the B2 before you can ask for the conditional use permit?
Yes.
Are we putting the horse
Yeah.
before the cart,
Yeah.
the cart before the horse here?
Yeah,
So
no,
I just
yes.
want to make sure that,
You
know.
could do an applicant could request what I call kind of a coming in for a landing kind of thing, where you could have one hearing right after the other, where you
Dual request,
would have and adopt a resolution to rezone to B2, and then the next hearing would be the conditional use permit request. The way conditional use permits work, they are triggered by a certain district. So some certain districts do not allow you to ask for a conditional use permit for use X unless it's specified as a use in that district.
and I speak for myself as my opinion, it would be counterintuitive to rezone this B2 without the conditional use. So why would an intelligent Board of
Correct.
Supervisors do something like that? So,
Yeah,
again,
so-
personal opinion, I'm not speaking for the board. So.
Well, and I think that's why, in conversations with the applicant prior to them applying for this, that's kind of the conclusion, I believe, that the applicant came to, is it made more sense to ask for the I-1 because that gets you what you need, like you said, as they've stated in their application, without having to have additional hearings later with the uncertainty that if the conditional use permit was denied, then you have a dealership, which you already have ongoing, but you don't have the extra layer that you need to meet your dealership requirements. Like you indicated, though, the I-1, quite frankly, comes with it all these extra uses that I'll choose my words carefully, give a county pause because you don't want to have maybe that suite of things as a by right.
Well, to that point, I mean, the truck freight terminal, warehouse, and distribution, that's not available in B2, that's only in your eyes.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
Perhaps it's an oversight that back in 22, when we were redoing the zoning ordinance, maybe B2 should have been expanded a little bit to be a by right with automobile repair, but playing devil's advocate with that, you see, we don't have any B2 actually at all in the county, but if we do, it might be next to where there's a B1, and some of the B1s are in places where I don't think you want welding and cutting and painting and all that stuff going on because there's residential next door, so it's a little bit of a catch-22 there, but the I-1 is probably the best choice for the applicant, but like you indicated, and I agree, there's a lot of uses there that probably the applicant doesn't maybe want or need at this time. And I'll point out also, when you have a use, if it is proffered away or struck from a property, there's nothing to say that years later you can't come back in public hearing and petition the board to have it added back as a use. It's as Max would probably say, it's a legislative action. Further legislative action can modify that previous legislative action.
Ronnie?
My turn. This is a dramatic upzoning from an A2 to an I1 on a large parcel. And a good portion of this property, if we pass this, we're zoning a good portion of this property to a use that is probably not ever adaptable to this piece of property. Again, this is my opinion. I mean, this property goes back in the back, it's been agricultural fields, and so I question why we would upzone something that would not see that use, and maybe we're hamstringing future boards for possible other uses that are not foreseen tonight by right, that are listed in an I-1. So, in a general way, if you wish to comment on this, what about a split zoning? Because I do commend the Tappan Chevrolet folks. They provide commerce to the county. We do appreciate that. But it does give me heartburn to take 116 acres, and zone it to a use that is just not, it's really not adaptable and applicable to this, a good portion of property to that use. So, I know the split, and I bring up split zoning because it was mentioned somewhere in the report I was reading, and I didn't see any more discussion about it. So, I don't know if you can make any comments on that or not, but that's an area I would like to go down. But maybe Max could mention it.
Okay.
Sure. The board is entitled to take a less legislative action than is proposed in what the public hearing contains. So rezoning to less than the full acreage is within the board's discretion. That would also be a legitimate reason if the board wished to refer to the planning commission to determine what that appropriate acreage is, since that's not contained within the application materials.
All right. And would that division have to be done by a survey?
Well, the board is entirely in charge of the zoning map amendment process. I mean, the petition can come before the board by application of a property owner. You could not rezone it to a more intensive use than without re-advertising it. But if the board said, we think we're gonna zone the first 200 feet of this property to I-1, that would be a legitimate legislative action to amend the zoning map. It would just be a matter of how particular and specific the board wanted to be.
Okay, thank you. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
I'm
no
good.
problem at all. Yeah. The only further thing I'll add to split zoning is, as staff, we love to see, if there is a split zone parcel, that a survey was done at that time that shows exactly where those boundaries are, because future cuts and divisions sometimes happen, and it's just great not to have it fuzzy where we're not sure, oh, well, this tree was where the B1 ended and the, that kind of
I
stuff.
understand.
If
That
it's
totally
a
makes sense.
line on a piece of paper that a surveyor scratched in there, it makes it life simpler in the future.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I have one. And I don't know if this is a Brian question or not, but just so we kind of have all the facts, do you have any idea how many additional jobs this will provide?
I do not, no. That's not something that the planning commission in their deliberations were aware of.
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, with that, I'll ask the applicants if they have any comments or want to answer any questions from the board or have any input you want to provide before we go to public comment. Please. Good.
I actually don't have anything other than what I've said before at the other meetings. I didn't know if you guys had questions for me or,
I asked the question about the 9 parcels.
So that was originally a concept plan, and our idea with that is more of a, like an ancillary business. Like, for instance, there's certain products that we would sell, being a medium-duty dealer, that even though you're a GM franchise, you sometimes don't sell certain aftermarket parts. So my idea was to create sub-businesses where you would create your own little aftermarket buildings, like I like tires and wheels, but everybody's got their thing. But with the electrification of vehicles, we learned that each model line can create an entire aftermarket a whole accessory line. So my thought was, as our business grows, it doesn't make sense to have, or I don't even think you would want to do this, but if you had a body shop, for instance, you don't want that in your 35,000 square foot building because it's stinky and dusty and all that. So our idea was, let's pick a number that makes sense of lots around this cul-de-sac, that we would create that Chandler Road in there. And basically, as these businesses existed, we'd create these buildings and, you know, put them into play in the market. But they really would be ancillary business. They would be supporting businesses, but they wouldn't be Tappahannock Chevrolet. They'd be whatever they become as they morph into whatever they become.
Understand? Thank you for that.
But it's a concept though. It really, we would have to get more
Okay.
granular on the actual lot lines for each individual. Yeah.
Makes sense? That's,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And you mentioned solar, just so you know that I don't do solar. I don't like solar. It's not on our radar at all. Trust me.
A future owner could do that.
I agree.
That's
I
the
get that.
problem.
I'll ask that same question that I asked Brian, you know, how many more jobs are we looking at for the county?
That's a
or-
tough thing to say. I mean, we had 3 interviews today in our little building for more people, but I would guess that we're gonna try to add 12 more bays total just for service. So in today's world, that's at least 6 techs, but hopefully it could be as many as 10. You know, the service writers, we just went from 2 to 3, and we might go to 4. So you need a certain amount of writers for each lift that you have and all the man hours there. But if I had to put a number on it, I wouldn't say double, but I would say 50% increase pretty much right away. I mean, it's gonna be twice the size of the building, for sure, for the new building. So, hard to put a number on, but that's a fair guess.
Could I ask one more question?
Sure.
If this does not pass, this board, are you hamstrung? Can you do any of this expansion without this upzoning?
I can't even add, I don't know if you've been behind the dealership, but we had to put little metal buildings just to store the tires that we do sell now. I'm sort of geographically boxed in there because there's literally where our stormwater is, it's straight down. So there's really no way to go frontwards or backwards,
Okay.
to be honest with you. And that's why we've sort of identified, we're gonna keep the current building and add the next building, and that way we just move over to that building.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Follow-up
guys.
question for Max,
Yep.
though. The split zoning and stuff that, looking at the 39 acres that they've got in that concept map for ancillary businesses, we could approve that for the split zoning? And are businesses limited to those lots, or can they go over those lots? Maybe that's a Brian question, I don't know.
So the answer to your first question is yes. The board can rezone to any amount up to or less than the total 116-ish acres. And that could be described by the bounds of a concept plan. The division of those lots would be dependent on the by right acreage lot minimums in the zoning district itself. So the orientation, all of that would still be subject to the subdivision ordinance itself, unless there were conditions placed on the zoning. Conditions volunteered on the zoning.
But since they own all of it, those lot lines really don't mean anything, do they? If we split zone those,
They're conceptual.
they're conceptual, okay. Thank you.
Questions? We'll go to public hearing. All right, at this point, we'll open up the public hearing for any public that wants to speak on this matter. Hearing none, we'll close public hearing. And I believe we have this at the end of our new business to take up as action. All right. So we'll take this up under new business here shortly. At this point, we'll open up to public comments. So public comments are for the general welfare of the county. Each speaker shall provide his or her full name and Essex County address for the record before addressing the board. Each speaker shall be limited to 5 minutes. At this time, I'll open it up for public comments, general comments. Hearing none, we'll close the public comments. All right, county administrator and agency reports. Gentlemen, I don't have anything to add at this time, so Administrator Rounds?
Sure. We were going to use this slot to answer any questions that the board may have regarding the Marsh Street pool and provide you whatever update it is that you're interested in receiving tonight.
Can you give us a general update? What's going
Sure,
on?
happy to do that. And Jay, please feel free to offer the work that you and your group have done. The Marsh Street pool is currently closed. There's a complete mechanical failure of the pump, which was just replaced in 2023. It's no longer under warranty. We received a report from the Director of Parks and Rec on Saturday, the 20th of June. Jay Mitchell went out to take a look at it. He was able to confirm the pump was inoperable at that time. So on Monday, he and an outside vendor, Mr. Townsend, went to the location. They spent time off and on during that week period to try to troubleshoot and identify any causes or what they could do in the meantime to restore use of the pool. On the 26th, he provided us a rough estimate, which would not include the sourcing agent or the labor because the parts are kind of specialized to this pool. Then on the 30th, I know many of you, including myself and Mr. Mitchell, received a variety of inquiries, complaints, frustrations, angst about maybe some misunderstandings or misinformation that were circulating about the pool. And then we got a call from a great farmer who also sits on our on our board, Mr. Hale, who said, is there any way we could use some existing parts from another pool that we have access to maybe come up with a temporary solution, which we did investigate and tried to see if that would work, but the parts were incompatible due to horsepower and also size of the pipes, dimensions, and so forth. So we followed up on July 2nd with a firm quote from Mr. Jimmy Townsend, approved the quote, ordered the parts. Of course, then over a holiday weekend, the delivery date for the parts are not guaranteed, but we expect them any day. And as soon as those come in, we'll schedule the repairs and then do whatever testing that we need to get the pool back open and operational. It won't be immediate. Of course, you have to make sure that the water is tested, that the pool is safe, that it's hygienic, and to provide a resource to the community that we've looked at responsibly to their safety. Are there any other questions about the Marsh Street pool?
No, post that, and I copied you all on the email asking for some accountability. I've gotten several calls, I'm sure others have as well, regarding some classes and things that have been done. So I did ask the question of, if these classes were being held, was there revenues that were coming in from that? And my understanding is, and we need to look into this a little bit more, but no, they are being held. There is no revenue coming into the county for these things being done, which is somewhat problematic because we're using county services to offer things that somebody else is getting paid for. So I take some exception to that because that goes to the overall maintenance of the pool and everything else that could be causing premature failure. So while I certainly appreciate the public's wanting to have the pool to do these classes and things, I've said this numerous times, it's not a necessity. It's a luxury to have. I'm glad we have it. Glad we have it for our community, but we want to make sure it's fixed and it's fixed correctly. And we have some other things that we're going to dig into. But the goal is that we're going to get this thing back up and running as soon as possible, for our youth and everybody else who wants to enjoy it this summertime. So we do have some other issues that we're going to have to take up and take action on.
There are some deeper issues there as
Yeah,
far as
agreed.
priorities of access and how those programs that are not hosted or provided through the county's Park and Rec department are vetted and offered.
And liability insurance.
There's many issues there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have not been approved, basically.
They have not been approved or brought to county administration. Are there any other
Yep.
questions?
Thank you for the update.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, appreciate that.
Thank you. Moving on. Carlos, anything on broadband? Getting closer?
Hey, yeah, we're waiting on that power supply still for the GEV 14. That's the last area of public roads to activate. We're expecting that by mid to end of July. And then it's just tackling all the private roads.
I have a quick question, because I've had a couple residents in the county. What is Breezeline doing to contact residents that service is available and they can go ahead and sign up and get service? Apparently,
so-
it's not getting to them. I don't know if they're not sending letters. I know we've got it on our website, but people don't know that, so.
Yeah, I know they put out they've sent letters to people mainly on the private roads to like let them know to try and get service. I can see what sort of ads we can put out for like, hey, you can sign up for like, go try to sign up for service now, because for most of the county, large amounts of the county, you should just be able to go in and either on the website or calling, activate it now, unless you're on the private road or in that GEV 14 area. So I'll ask on our Thursday meeting about what sort of advertising is happening for the areas that are just regular activated, not on private.
It seemed to me to their benefit.
Right, and they
Put an ad in the
definitely,
paper. I'm talking a full page ad, something big.
Yeah.
And get on this radio, they reach a lot of people, and I just don't see why, Breezeline, because it's gonna bring business to them, it's that simple.
that sounds good. And one
Please make
thing
that
to note,
suggestion, and you
so
tell them
the.
it's from me. So you don't have to take the heat, you can tell them it's from me.
Gotcha, yeah, and, I mean, they want more subscriptions, that's how they'll get money after the expansion. But one thing to note, early on, we had one website for signing up, where it was like, oh, put in, your info and it'll try and notify you. Rana, you ran into this, you put your info in, but that website didn't really work. Like, it seems like it's sort of a black box where the info got lost. So I think some of the people who signed up through there think that all they have to do is wait and get notified, but that glitched and isn't what's happening. So we'll have to get out the word out that if you think you've signed up and nothing's happened, go to our new website, and the new Breezeline page is how you can actually sign up. Or the easiest way is calling the sales rep, because he can walk you through all this stuff. The website, there's several more clicks than what you might think you need to do. But yeah, so that I think is probably one of the sources of confusion, where people think pretty reasonably they put in their info, but there's not an email forthcoming once their area activates.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
All of our information is still on our website, correct, for,
Yes, so yeah, it's on that news flash area.
thank you. Thanks, Carlos. Brian, anything additional for building and zoning? Centralized services, Nita? Kyle, communications? We have Robbie still here? I thought I saw, Robbie, anything?
He's still here.
Can I get Robbie to come up here?
You do now, Robbie, so.
You're on now.
You had a chance to leave.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm happy. We had rain, so I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Just really, really quick, and then whatever Mr. Magruder has. I just wanted to present this on behalf of our 4-H Livestock Club as a certificate of appreciation to you all, Essex County, the board, chairman, everyone. We had a little get-together 2 weeks ago, I believe, out at the airport, and invited a lot of our supporters and sponsors and so forth, and they handed out certificates and stuff to their supporters. So I'm just here on behalf of the club to provide this to you all, so I'll
Perfect.
give this
April?
to
It'll go up in our boardroom.
and, thank you for all of y'all's support for the group. Had a great year this year. A bunch of them will be at Richmond County Fair coming up pretty shortly, so appreciate you all supporting the opportunity to have them here about a month or two ago. So appreciate that. John, anything else?
And,
Question?
you have a new intern, so let the
We
board
do.
know about this and why and how you got this intern. She's
Yes,
been doing a lot of
so,
great stuff, so.
We've got a great intern with us. This is actually the first year that I've been fortunate enough to have an intern since I've been an agent. And for those that maybe don't know, I was an intern in this very county many years ago. Hadn't been that long, but nonetheless,
I remember.
it's a great program. A lot of counties do offer it. The challenge that lies with that is the locality in the county is responsible for coming up with a portion of the funding. And so this year we were able to do that. I was able to work with my colleague down in Middlesex County. And so Miss Mackenzie Kirby is our summer intern. Please stop by and see her at the office. I know she'd like to meet folks. She's actually going to be featured coming up pretty soon. I think Chris is going to come by the office one day this week and meet with Mackenzie. So you'll see a little ad in the newspaper about her as well. Recently graduated from Virginia Tech Animal Science Department. She serves in the U.S. Army, so she'll be deployed this fall for an extended tour overseas. Very happy to have her with us this summer, and I think she's enjoying it. She seems to be. So we've spent very little time in the office. I appreciate the opportunity to take her out to the field. So thank you, John, for the opportunity to share that. So
Thank you.
stop by and see Mackenzie. She's somewhat local, grew up in Hanover County, large vegetable operation there, livestock. So very happy to have her on board with us.
Perfect.
So
Thanks, Robbie.
thank you all.
Thank you.
Woody, EDA?
Oh, yeah.
Come on up.
I have several. One of the things you mentioned in your report, Woody, was the King and Queen Economic Development Meeting. What did you all discuss? How is that gonna work with us? Expand a little bit from your report.
So, this is the first meeting since I've been working for the EDA, which is gonna be 2 years in November. This is the first meeting of Middle Peninsula Economic Development Authorities coming together to plot and plan for regional cooperation. King and Queen County had a lot to do with the organization of this. But we met at the PDC building down at Hub 33. Delegate Hodges was our guest speaker. We brainstormed. There was a lot of discussion of priorities. A big part of that is that the PDC is rewriting its comprehensive economic development strategy for the region, which is something I learned about at the LGA meeting that I went to. So there's an opportunity for us to give our input on regional priorities. And once again, I think it's very important for us to be at the table. We need to be at these meetings, have a role in what gets determined, and that's how we will benefit from this.
So they're gonna come back with us with some of these priorities at some point as
So
well.
I'm working with our EDA board members so that they can channel feedback directly to the staff at the PDC who is writing that economic development strategy.
Next was, what exactly is this UVA Community Network Builder program? I'm not familiar with that.
So UVA, their Weldon Cooper Center has what's known as the Institute for Engagement and Negotiation. And they have funded a person to work for our region. She is charged with assisting 10 counties, so it's Northern Neck and Middle Peninsula localities, with regional priorities that have to do with things like workforce development, housing, economic development in general. I've worked with that group from the IEN from UVA before, and I've met once in person with this person and twice virtually, and she came to that regional economic development meeting. I met with the King and Queen people and got this person invited because she needs to meet us and she can work with us regionally. One of the things that I've asked for her help with is determining what is the consensus. Is there a consensus among the Middle Peninsula localities? Do we want to apply for this commercial an industrial site characterization study. I keep bringing it up. We've been talking about it in the EDA since the spring. But that's a consensus project. It needs to be something where multiple localities apply or want to apply, and then the PDC would be the applicant of record. So this person has agreed to help me do that. And I think that's great because she has some skills that I don't have with those kinds of things.
And that's provided by UVA, no cost to
Yeah,
us.
they,
Okay,
and
great.
something that is important and probably for everyone to understand, I did a lot of work in Fredericksburg with the Community Foundation, Central Rappahannock River Region Community Foundation, did a lot of cool projects. Essex falls in a crack, it seems like. We're not really part of any community foundation. There's one downstream that has those localities, and one in Richmond, and one in Frederick. But there is a Rappahannock River Community Foundation. I don't have that in front of me, the actual name, but they supported her. So I'm hoping to meet some of these people, and if there's a way to make Essex part of their service area, that seems like a win for us. Because these community foundations do a lot of really cool projects, especially for our nonprofits.
And the last one, and I just think this is just a great thing for our small businesses here, the Mary Washington Small Development workshops that they're gonna be doing. Is that something that we are gonna be participating in and helping our small businesses?
Yes, sir. So Greg Huff from the Chamber of Commerce has expressed a lot of interest in doing that. He has some volunteers that's going to be helping, who are going to be helping him
We love our volunteers.
at the chamber. And so what I want to do is to be able to work with those volunteers and determine from the chamber what kind of things our businesses want to hear about. The Small Business Development Center at Mary Wash can offer a lot of different programming. They could come in to talk to us about many different subjects. I'd like to determine what our chamber members, as a starting point, what they want to hear about. And some of it could be things like social media and advertising, or the use of artificial intelligence for various things. So I think that we start with the chamber, determine what do we want to learn about, and then set that agenda. I'm looking for that in August. I hope it's September at the latest. But that's something we would host here in Tappahannock. It would not just be for chamber businesses. We could make it open to whoever would like to come, and I think Historic Downtown would be a partner that I would like to work with on that. So, but I want to set the agenda by asking our business people, what do they want to hear about?
That's it, thank you, appreciate the update.
I have a question, Woody.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
How does that differentiate or overlap with the new Tappahannock Essex Resource Council that the town has just proposed that we start up?
That's a good point. And I think that should be part of that same conversation, yeah. I think that resource, what I see from very briefly talking about it with the town manager, is that Resource Council is going to be modeled on other similar programs, similar efforts, but bringing a lot of our nonprofits together and those kinds of things, and some of our business leadership. So I think there's a definite overlap.
Yeah.
And whatever we do with this small business development workshop, and this may, who knows, we could do multiple days, but for this, at least get this started, the town manager would definitely be involved in those conversations to make sure that we're including all the people in our business community.
Thank you. Sound like the same program and the same participants, and so.
At least the same participants, a little
So
different.
a little bit of overlap, so I think
A
it's
lot
good
of
that it would be
overlap
the
because
same
of the
people.
participants.
Yeah.
The only difference is, I think with this resource council, there may be times when we want to bring in subject matter experts. And in this case, the Small Business Development Center, they have financing options and assistance. They helped me start my business as an LLC, and they do that for free.
Okay.
So we want to bring these people in for some specialized training. Same thing with that resource.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
getting back to the workshop from Mary Washington, from the Business Development Center. Is that cost-free?
So they provide their services for free. The Small Business Development Center will come here with a couple of staff members for free. They've been wanting to do this in Tappahannock. They want to make some contacts here. There will be some costs, and it could be something as simple as providing some sandwiches or something at lunch. I think depending on the number of people who are interested, if we get a lot of interest from the chamber and others, then we start determining where we're going to have it. Can I do it at the school board, or do I need a bigger room?
Right.
But I think there is no fee for bringing in this small business development center. We may want to do something to make the attendees enjoy it better, have some sandwiches.
I
and
understand.
drinks.
I didn't realize they were doing it for free.
No, they can come here for free.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Woody. Appreciate it.
That's why I brought it up.
All right, Kyle, anything for emergency services? Mary's not here. Jay, anything on facilities and general properties? Is Haven here? I don't see her here tonight. Kay's not here. Candace, anything for social services? Do want to point out, if you guys didn't see, that our CSA is actually coming in lower than what we anticipated, so haven't had to ask for any more money and actually having a savings as a result, so.
Separate dollars.
Separate dollars.
Separate dollars, so kudos to our social services team and staff for all their hard work. Chuck, anything additional for technology?
No, sir.
And Angela's not here. All right, moving on, Christina's not here. Kristen, anything to add to your report? And with that, Ms. Bell, I'm going to give you the floor. This is your spot. Every meeting you want to come to, you're welcome to come up here and introduce yourself, give shout-outs, ask us some questions, give us some updates, whatever you like.
All right. Good evening to everyone, first of all. Just want to say, first of all, I'm excited to be home. This is the place that helped me to be the person I am. Great experiences in Essex County Public Schools, and left this place to return to this place, and that's where the heart is. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to support. I reflect back a little bit just in experiences that 30 years ago, I was a college graduate working with IBM as a marketing rep and decided to change careers because having kids wears meaning. And so 30 years later, I reflect back on those experiences as a middle and high school teacher, administrator on the elementary level and high school level with schools that people didn't believe in that would achieve, and we exceeded those expectations. And then also serving in several roles with central office to support. And I share those experiences because I would not have been able to do that without the education in Essex. So, and then seeing teachers as I come back to this place who are proud, and that's the ultimate thing for a teacher, to say, just for them to see that the product of their work did not go in vain. So I'm excited today. There are many things that we have on our agenda. We, so far coming into this role, 3 weeks tomorrow, who's counting, right? Started on June 17th, and it's been wonderful. It's been great to build those relationships in-house, having those one-to-one meetings with our staff, being able to identify their strengths, their opportunities, their needs, what do they need to support so that we can be better. It's been great to work with some of our county members in this process, and I thank them for that transition and support through finance and through human resources and colleagues, meeting with our sheriff's department. So we're trying to get outreach to be able to connect with everyone. April and I'll be meeting very soon as well, because this work and turnaround in Essex schools is not going to be because of one superintendent. It's not going to happen that way. It's going to happen because of a collaboration of people on the school board who've been amazing at support. Supporting with our Board of Supervisors. I feel like I'm a partner with you all. I've been excited to have the meeting with Mr.
You
Akers.
can say amazing too, it won't hurt my feelings.
Just say
Just say it.
and look forward to meeting with the rest of you all as well. There's a lot of work to do. It's a heavy lift. I'm excited about it. I've never worked in places that were easy. I've always chosen to go to places where other people didn't want to go. Highland Springs High School, turned them around with the collaboration of teams. Petersburg, we worked to make some great improvements in those schools. And so I say that because I know what can be done. So I do ask for the community support. I do ask for just a few moments of peace, a little bit of, not peace, but grace and mercy, because we got to figure some things out. And when we figure them out, we're going to roll. Today I met with principals that was supposed to be a 2-hour meeting, and we started at 8 and we finished at 2. People who are determined, who want to know, who want direction, who want to be able, how do we do this as a team? So I was also an athlete here in Tappahannock, and that competitive spirit lives with me all the time. And so we play to win. And so we're getting our team on board to win with us because kids deserve that. I don't care what their circumstances are, who they are. If they're students who are achieving high, go further. I don't believe that, oh, you're gifted, you're good. Oh, you go to the government. No, keep pushing. And that's our goal from every student. So just wanted to say that. And so today, coming here, just also wanted to know what is it that we can do from the school division side? What are expectations from the board? How do we work hand in hand in this work? What do we need when we come to the table to present? And I know that Mr. Akers shared some great things with me, but I want to hear from anyone. Open to discussion and questions and whatever we can do, because if we know, then we can do better. And so I'd like to start that this year, just knowing up front, so we don't come with mistakes and those types of things. But that spirit of mutual respect and support is what I'm asking for today as well.
Yeah, and when we met, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Yes, seems like yesterday, but you know.
It's like drinking through a fire hydrant, isn't it? Yeah, we
Yes.
talked about policy procedure. That's big on our board, that, you know, we don't want to get into the weeds. We felt like we've had to for some time to have to do that, but it's not our desire. But following policies and procedures, being transparent, open communication is all, you know, very key to us. I mean, we're
Okay.
not opposed to anything. I like to think this is a pretty supportive board, all in total, but like to follow the rules. But I'll kind of go down and we'll let the question man down there see what he's got, because
Oh, yeah, but we'll work.
It's always
well.
a
I like
guess.
a lot of questions, so that's fine. It's no problem. I'm already driving my staff crazy with questions.
I'm the talker, Pam, I'm the talker.
No problem.
I was the why kid in third grade.
Me too.
I always asked why.
Always on the report card, you
So
talk too
curious about
much.
everything, so
Yeah.
I ask a lot of why questions. But, no, I want to reiterate, communication, communication.
Okay.
That transparency. Need to build trust with us again.
Yes.
I mean, it's just,
I hear
and
that.
and again, I'm gonna give you that opportunity, and try to be fair.
I appreciate it.
So that, you're coming in here with a heavy lift, and, so it's gonna take some time, so bear with us.
Okay.
I think, Rob is correct, we can be very supportive, we just need to know why. What are your needs, and what are we gonna get in that return for that support for that? It's pretty simple, and I think you'll find very easily that we'll support lots of things. I know this board has been heavily involved with the community and the kids in this community, volunteering to do all kinds of stuff, from Little League to Scouts to church groups to whatever, and if not, we've been financially supporting these kids. I don't know how much stuff we have bought over the years from these kids, and I'm glad to do it, because, you know, if they're gonna make the effort, we wanna support that. So we are about the kids. I mean, a lot of people don't see that, but we are. This board's very supportive that way, so welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you.
Okay.
The phone is a real easy tool.
Yes.
So
Okay.
please communicate.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Welcome again, and I'm sorry I couldn't make the meeting when you met with Rob the other day, but, yeah, I'm excited about your passion, your dedication. You've been through the school system, and that's a dynamic that we have not really had in a long, long time at that level. So that's important. We all are here to support you and the school board. We are here for the kids. Everybody knows that. The elephant in the room has been the financial side
Yes.
of the schools. And so, we just need to kind of, we need to be transparent,
Yes.
you to us and us to you in that area, because we can get back on the right track. I'm convinced of that with the right leadership. And, so that's important, because we do a disservice to our youth when we can't perform at these levels that the school system needs to perform at. You understand that, I'm convinced of that, and I'm excited about the fact that you've gotten out in the community, you've interacted with community members as well as your staff, and I know you've got some takeaways and things that you need to work on, so, we're not here to micromanage. You have all the services back in under your purview, and so we're excited to see what the next steps are.
Okay.
So, again, welcome, and if we can be of service, I was a former school board member myself for 13 years back in the 90s, after you left, I believe.
Wow,
But,
okay.
so I understand a lot of the things that this current school board's going through and so forth. So, yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome you as well. I haven't been on the board as long as these two gentlemen have, but I've lived here all my life. I graduated from Essex High School. I felt at the time it gave us an excellent education, and I want to see our schools get back to that standard. And it's refreshing to have somebody on board that has a love and a tie for the community. So I wish you the best. I hope you can help turn things around.
Okay, thank you. With support, we will. Yes, thank
Welcome home. Just call me anytime.
you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And again, Ms. Phelps, always a pleasure. You've got my phone number, you have my contact information, you can call me anytime. Again, more than happy to kind of help guide the way whenever we can, and I will try to do my best to stay in my lane, but we're here for you regardless, so.
Teamwork. You know, there's a lane for kids, it's teamwork, that's the piece.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
I look forward to working with you. I think it's great to have all the support of the board and of the school board, but I think if we stay grounded that it's up to them to do their work. We can maintain a different relationship regardless of that,
Okay,
and I think that will steer us where we need to go.
okay. I look forward to it.
Yeah,
Okay, you guys are the heavy lifters.
Yes. We're
Yeah.
built for that.
we can do it. He's very humble too, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to it. So, again, thank you for the opportunity just to share a little bit, to get to know you all, and I know we'll see each other in the community. There's a lot to do out there coming up with National Night Out, and we'll make sure you all have dates as well to, come by and join us for our open house. It's getting ready for exciting times. We're back
Yeah.
to school, convocation on August 3rd, so you'll have a whole list of dates to be able to share. And someone was talking about a partnership, so I do
Yeah.
hope, in my experiences with different places, we had a partnership that might be like the Essex Partnership, where a school board member, DSS, county man, different people,
Yeah.
and we knew
We spoke about
what
that.
was going on.
Yeah,
Yes,
we did,
and so
yeah.
it would be amazing. And so we'll be out in the community. Just our main thing is hiring. If your sister, mom, anybody wants to teach, let us know. We can train them real quick, but we want to keep that, our staff, that's our priority right now, and then moving achievement, school culture and climate, and those partnerships with parents and the community. So,
And
thank
if you
you.
submit a report monthly to us, I will guarantee I will read it, so.
Yes.
And he will
there
give
be
you
one.
shout
We'll
outs.
already
every
have
I've
time.
already
My
put those on the
shout-outs,
calendar. See, I had Friday, it was already on my calendar for Tuesday. See,
No.
we're ready. We'll be ready. And the team is excited, and we're all on board about protocol and cadence. That's very important to us, to be in that professional realm, got to keep things going. So,
They're happy with an ADM. I mean, they're not difficult. So you've already given them more information tonight than probably the last quarter as far as
Okay.
events and
Okay.
inviting them to share your time. So
Okay,
that's been great.
Yeah, I love that collaboration. So if
Yep.
there's anything we're not doing or doing something different, just let us know, and
Yeah.
we'll fix it, because nobody's perfect in the work, but we're passionate about the work. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Sheriff Holmes, anything to add? Penny, anything to add? And nobody from
Numbers
G
look
does.
good, Penny, thank you.
Yes, they do. All right, John.
We ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I was impressed with the fact that Building and Zoning over just 6 months issued 953 permits. That just blows me away. And 757 inspections. So Brian, take back to your staff. Thank you. Kudos from the board here. Greatly appreciate that. Robbie, you had two people that earned Herdsman Awards at the Caroline County Fair. We'll shout out to Fisher Thompson and Ashley Dawson. Tell them well done for us. We appreciate that. A quiet person, April, in our organizations, Juanita Sidner. She doesn't get shout outs too often, but I'm going to make one tonight. So we appreciate her. We really do. She's the person behind the payroll. So, and she takes care of all the other issues. So tell her thank you for all she does for the county and for the employees on the county. So, do also want to shout out to Martha Mercer. She's been providing food boxes at the summer camp, 30 of them each week on her own initiative. Maybe we help with others, but Kay, if you're listening online, tell Martha Mercer thank you. We really appreciate it. That's just going above and beyond. The citizens in this county really do. And that also brings up the owners of the Sunoco. I don't have a name, but they provided pizza and drinks for the kids at summer camp. I mean, they didn't have to do that, but they did. That impresses me. And I just think that's a great job. Sheriff Holmes, you won again. The cleanup, Essex cleanup. You guys rock. All right?
They don't want to go to jail.
And for those Rotary Club members in here, they got second place. We do appreciate them as well. So shout out to our Rotary Club. So other than that, short list tonight, but again, thank you to everybody. Appreciate them.
I'm very good. Thank you.
Calvin? I'm good. Joe? Nope. Perfect.
How about an additional shout out to Mary Davis for a very successful end of year close and opening close with partnership of the treasurer. So we thank you. It went very smoothly. There were no hiccups whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Another quiet, dedicated, smart, wonderful person. Thank you.
She makes the wheels go.
That's amazing.
So our consent agenda, would somebody like to make a motion to approve all three?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. All right, moving into new business. We have the first one's the proposed ordinance 26-004, the rezoning case number 202-60125, the classification from A2 to I1 request. So, board members, do we have a motion for action, or?
Could we,
We discuss first before?
Yeah.
Do we have to make a motion
do it?
to
You have-
discuss?
Yeah, whatever
Okay.
discussion you like,
All
yeah.
right, you go first.
I was just gonna mention the fact that, we've talked about options here tonight, and I know we can't infer or expect options. But the split zoning idea is intriguing, but I don't think it needs to be initiated by this board. I'm not in favor of the ordinance as it's written. But I would entertain all options.
I would recommend, Max mentioned this earlier, is defer this back to the planning commission for recommendations of a smaller zone to do that, and let the planning commission do their homework and come
Absolutely.
up with a recommendation for us, given that they've already approved this already. Yeah, we could go back to them saying that we're not comfortable with the full acreage as presented, and would they consider providing us some additional options? Max, we need to have a motion to take it back to the planning commission.
Yes, there would need, there would need to be a motion.
I would move to send it back to the planning commission for all options.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion?
I just want to also agree with Supervisor Gill on that I wasn't aware of the split zoning option. I think that might be a really good option, because again, I feel very uncomfortable rezoning 116 acres all as industrial for some of those reasons of permitted uses there. You know, that may not be their intention, but who knows, 20 years, 50 years. Once you rezone a piece of land, it stays with that land. So it would encumber future boards, et cetera. And so I do like that split zoning, and it gives the applicant also an opportunity to say what footprint they want for that. If it goes back to the planning commission, would it be those 9 lots? Would it be the 39 acres? Would it be 35? Would it be 42? I can't say. It's their application. So I think their input has got to be critical to that, to talk about that. So I think it gives them an opportunity to do that as well.
And I get, I looked at the B1 versus B2 versus I1, and, clearly there's some advantages to the industrial classification, such as, truck, distribution, warehouse distribution. Some of the other things, the repair part, that can be done as conditional use permit, and I would think that if we approved something like that, we would do that under that assumption that would get the conditional use permit. But also, the solar, I wasn't, because you can still have small-scale solar even in your B2 category. So that didn't concern me as much as some of the other things, to Supervisor Vice Chairman Gill's point. of taking that much A1 property and potentially locking it up for future uses for future owners, which hopefully we'll never have one. We'll keep the same owners for years and years. But you're right, it's something we have to think of because the what-ifs can't happen, so.
And I appreciate their explanation on the ancillary business. I'm not aware, so that was very helpful, good information. And Supervisor Hale's comment too about, the jobs that it'll provide, and I definitely encourage that and would want to see a business be very successful. So hopefully we can work this out to accomplish all that at one time.
Yeah, I certainly respect that we have the business here, we're doing those things now. They want to expand on that, I certainly appreciate it and want that to be
Absolutely.
expanded. So we just have to be cautious and make sure that we've done all our due diligence up front. And I believe, that's the role of our planning commission, to send it back to them to let them provide us some of those things. Any other board members have any other questions, comments before I call the question? Motion's been made and seconded. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we'll defer it to the planning commission. And Brian, so you'll communicate that with the planning commission? Yep. Thank you. Next, we have Kristen. You have a real estate refund request.
I make a motion to approve the real estate tax refund in the amount of $772.42 as presented.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ayes have it. Next, we have the resolution 26-011, Smart Scale for a King and Queen. This is a procedural action. So we hear a motion to approve resolution 26-011 as presented.
I so move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by, any discussion?
Ask Brian to come up and just answer.
Yeah, I figured there'd be some questions.
If I may, just to speed along a little bit, simply put is, King and Queen also has a smart scale application, and they have a project that buffers to the county. This is procedural, say we do not oppose or object to their project if we do not have an application project that will interfere with theirs.
I'm just trying to get an understanding. I'm not opposed to it.
Yep.
Just simply extending
Yep.
lanes for turning.
Yeah.
It's a safety issue. It's great. No problem. I'm just wondering why. I've never seen this before, so.
Yeah, VDOT's very careful about wanting to make sure that the adjacent locality, especially since you're so close to the county line right there,
No, you don't
that
object.
if you had a strong objection, it's kind of like a check valve. If there was some other plan that the county had in that area that would conflict with this smart scale application, this is the time to let it know, so.
Yep.
Yeah, it's, I've never seen it before, and Cassie told me that she's never run into it, but in this case, it's right on the county line, so.
It's also goodwill for King and Queen.
Exactly,
so, yeah.
indeed, yeah, thank you.
It's kind of like notifying the adjacent property owner. Thank you, Brian.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next, we have budget action form for the library. Can I get a motion to approve the transfer from reserves of
Wait a
three
minute,
hundred?
wait a minute. You got a Board of Supervisors April rounds
Oh,
request. right?
sorry, I skipped one.
You guys ordered the work, so if you don't want to pay it, that's fine by me.
So we have a Board of Supervisors budget action form to approve the transfer from reserves of the amount of $14,749 for the cost of airport road property surveys.
Mhm.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
ayes.
gentlemen, for paying your own bills.
Next, we have the library, and this is for travel expenses associated with the,
Women's Institute Leadership,
That's
she was approved last year, but new fiscal year request.
yep. So get a motion to approve the transfer of reserves from $398.63 for travel expenses.
So move.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Ayes have it. Next, we have a motion to approve the transfer of $4,170 for the ASAP mural grant as presented.
Clearly, clearly procedural pass-through funds for
Clearly
the
pass-
murals, the paintings that you see that are
So-
going up in the county, like Mr. Gaines, that was just done. This is what pays for those projects.
You see him working on the second one today?
Yes, I did, yes.
Right down the
So
street.
moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you,
Motion been
gentlemen.
made second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. Next, we have a building and zoning budget action form in the amount of $14,384.17. Yes,
Mhm.
for the Community Flood Preparedness Fund Grant disbursement.
Same thing, pass through. So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next, we have the budget action form. This is for Essex County Public Schools. This is for $113,697 for the E-rate. This is technology-related funds. We spoke about this last month, and although procedurally it probably wasn't put in like it was supposed to, meaning that it probably should have been budgeted up front, it did come as a savings, and the county actually had to spend less money as a local match as a result of the efficiencies that they did getting that work in. So this is to shore up their budget for technology at the rate of $113,697.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Just to your point, Chairman Akers, again, going forward, what are we gonna do?
But they're already working on that as part of their budget now, so the new budget that gets presented to us, when it gets presented to us, will have a lot of these things corrected, including correct numbers for school improvement grants and E-rates and all that good stuff, so.
So with this budget action form.
This is for this
also-
previous year.
I understand that. There is, Essex County Public Schools, we return the 493580. That's included in this, correct? Okay, in this motion, okay? All right. Pam, here's your first grace, okay? All right? I totally understand that. I totally understand that, and this is not directed at you whatsoever, but you can feel my angst in my voice, okay? But I'm going to extend that grace because I've got to give you some slack to prove yourself. I like the way you were talking, and I think that you may be the second best thing since sliced bread here, okay? So, all right? So, I'm gonna give you that grace, but I just letting you know my concern and frustration in the past, but I will not expect, that, this will happen again, so. Fair enough? Okay, I'm
I'll
done.
call the question. All those in
done.
favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. Next, we have the budget supplement for the school improvement grant. Now, what you'll see here, gentlemen, is we have two school improvement grants. As we found out, there was, one of the grant was supposed to be split, part of it, $35,590 for the fiscal year '26, and the remainder for the '27. So we have two here, and we'll need to take each one individually, approve or disapprove each one individually. The first one is for the work that was done this year for the $35,590. And understanding that we have questions regarding the timing of the signatures, I'm comfortable that the school board did in fact approve their plan and their documentation on their May 11th meeting, despite the other signatures that may have been on there. It has been approved and vetted by the school board. The school board later came back and split the grant into two pieces, which is more appropriate for how it should be. Whether we approve the second one or not tonight, certainly we should approve the first one, and the second one should be in their overall budget. But we can approve that tonight too, it just makes it easier for them to put it in there.
Now, at that discussion, and correct me if I'm wrong, we had talked about, again, is this school improvement grant was for the preschool?
No, this is for the intermediate school.
This was from the intermediate school, okay, never mind then, that's a different issue.
Yeah, this is the intermediate school.
Okay.
This is the one that was at the high school and intermediate school. our program grew so the high school came out of it and the funds were added to the intermediate school for their programming. They've started working with consultants, I believe started getting materials in. The school board does believe this is gonna be very beneficial. I've had conversations with my counterpart on the school board, Ms. Gomes, that they're gonna be monitoring this and tracking this to see the effectiveness of these things and make changes as needed. So I'm comfortable with this, where it's at. Despite the signatures lie out, I'm comfortable with the grant itself.
I move to approve the appropriation of $35,590 for FY '26 school improvement grant as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
In the tracking, then that information is going to be, did they discuss this? That,
I've
it's
been
been one of
told
the big issues
There should be
here.
a school improvement grant line item for these grants, so these should be tracked as these grants and how these monies are spent.
And the school board will get those reports monthly, quarterly.
I have.
This has been one of the issues, this is why we get in the weeds, because nobody else is, so.
I think you will find that is reported quite frequently.
Grace. All right. Good. Thank you. I don't like returning federal money either. It drives me crazy, so, I'll trust,
It's hard to get.
all right?
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it. Now, board members, the second one is for the fiscal year '27 grant. Again, this is for this upcoming fiscal year, which we just started, for 129,910. You could approve this now, you could disapprove it, or you could defer it until we have another budget. Again, this is federal money. It's all part of the programming that the school board's approved. I don't know that there's any reason to delay this. If the school board is comfortable and committed to it, that's who is ultimately accountable for the tracking of this, so.
Well, I would say that, I would like to defer this, and the biggest reason, we haven't seen a category budget, and I think this would be some good incentive to maybe get that. Have we seen a category budget?
We saw the one that was presented to us at the last meeting, but I know that's still being modified.
So, but I'm okay with delaying it, because really, this is part of that budget, and we don't have an accounting of that budget, so I think it's fair to do that.
I'll leave it to the discretion of the board.
But does this start the new school year, right? This has to be in stone before the new school year starts, correct? Correct?
I don't,
It is always best if we can have, I'm sorry, I apologize. With any type of SIG grant, we always appreciate having that money up front. I do know exactly what the requests are from the board, and so that's expected of us. So as funds are spent, you're asking for itemized list of what those funds went for. Well, that should be something and also Ms. Gross will be contracting with us and continue to monitor our grants with us for a little bit until another person is hired, because that's a very important task. We don't want to fall through the cracks, any of our federal grants. So I did want to share that information and appreciate the fact that she's willing to do that and work with us. So,
Ms. Bell, just,
of course, all money isn't spent the first day, but you want to be able to, if we're able to have that up front and allow the trust factor to be in place, so that we can do the work for kids and be able to start getting things in place and purchasing items that we need, or whether it's staff or what have you, that's helpful.
and this will, in the school's defense, this will help go into their budget to be something that's solidified. It's federal dollars that are going in, not necessarily local match dollars of optional programs, which is a little bit different, because that requires more of the county's skin in the game to know what some of these are. But to the point, it's probably ideal to have it beforehand, but, again, I would say before the start of the school for sure. I know there's still doing some of the programming and planning with the consultants.
Right, and it's not unreasonable for us to bring back the itemized list of where, because those funds were identified based on a list of items. So it's not difficult to say what were the items that brought about the 129. So we can bring that to the next meeting.
Can
That
you
shouldn't be a
can you
problem.
just briefly outline what this 129 would be used for? Do you, and I'm sorry if I put you on the spot with that.
I don't have the, I didn't dig deeper to this one yet because it's new. She
That's-
might be able to
that's-
speak
that's in the
more,
plan
but it's
doc-
more about
that's
the
in the plan
implementation of it. You want to add to it? Yeah. I'm 10
So
days old.
what the funds are used for is laid out in the plan. So it was a multi-page document. That last page was the signature page that discussions ensued over. But the plan does indicate what this money is.
We don't have the
spent.
plan in that, in the nice booklet, so that's why I was asking the question.
Okay, we can get you that.
611, 619.
Well, my question was gonna be, when do you all expect that you'll have your budget finalized? That's kind of the $1 million question, I think, where John was going with it, so I'm just.
So I don't have an exact date for you, but my hope is that before the end of July, we have that for you.
Would it be fair that we hold off on this until we get see the plan for this grant and then hopefully see the budget?
That would be fair. I think that these funds are needed to start the school year, and the school year starts
In 30 days.
very close to your next meeting.
Right,
So,
In 30 days.
I'll give the board one other option, if you're on the fence, you could approve it contingent on a date certain.
I'll tell you, I'm for giving the money now. Kids need.
I'm of the opinion, again, it's federal dollars, definitely don't want to give it back.
Right.
But the school board's approved the plan, I'm willing to hold them accountable to that plan and make sure it's documented correctly. And if not, there will be consequences for that, so.
That's fine. But I'd like to spend some time looking at the plan, and you may have presented it somewhere else and I haven't seen it, but, so we have an idea where these funds are going as well.
I am not sure. I thought the plan was attached.
The documents, we
One
had
of
it at
your-
our
Was it
last,
the
our
last
last meeting.
meeting?
Yeah, it wasn't in the last meeting. It wasn't in the nice booklet. I
No,
didn't see it,
right.
so.
Okay.
It was in a bunch of, it was a lot of information
I know.
all stacked together.
So I'd have to go back and shift back to another meeting, but and when you're approving it, if you had everything there in front of you, I'm just picky that way.
Again, I'm sitting on this fence of, we've been asking for a budget since, you tell me. Last November, February, whatever, and I get the same. And so, again, we're not against the grant. We're not against helping the kids. It's just that, we've got to be responsible at some point. We got to hold the line. I don't know what else to do or what else to say, and this is part of that budget, so. I feel more comfortable waiting. Or, to your point, if we can get a budget and set a date, I'm okay with that too, but, I'm not comfortable approving it tonight. We gotta build some trust some way, somehow. I've already shown some grace, but I need some trust
So
built.
the school start date is,
August 10th.
when's our meeting, next meeting? August 14th, 11th?
11, day after.
I mean, I'm fine with a contingent upon August 1st. If we get a budget by August the 1st, I mean,
Well, it wouldn't be a budget that we approve by then, because we couldn't
I
approve it
mean,
until our.
again, I had that debate about approving the budget. We don't approve budgets. That's
Right.
their job.
We appropriate the dollars.
We appropriate money. You approve budgets, so, and that's what the good school board does. So we don't have to approve anything.
So your
that I'm
guys'
aware of.
first school board meeting will be on the 10th, correct?
27th,
For,
10th,
for the school year, yeah.
first day of school.
So you make it contingent on them approving a budget to submit by their.
But The only concern I have is the budget's gotta be in the format that we requested and all that. We have seen information come down, but it wasn't in the appropriate form or anything like that we've requested. So I wanna be very careful about what we get as well.
I have another question. I noticed on the budget action form, on the first grant, FY '26, we had a recommendation for approval for the 35,000. But in the FY '27, 129,000, in the approval recommendation, in the recommendation box, it says NA by the county. So why the difference?
Because this funding is not included in the budget that, or the funds that the board approved on behalf of the school, when they didn't present a budget. It's not included.
It's not applicable because we haven't.
So-
It wasn't included in what we've already appropriated.
Right, so
Understand.
we're neutral, we can't say to include it, it's not included in what's been presented to you,
All right,
so.
So you're neutral because you don't have a budget, and that's where.
That's
I
the
guess-
directives
I
of
guess
the
that's where we
board, so we can endorse it against the directions of the board. It's not in the budget of funds that you approve for the school.
Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome, Vice Chairman Gill.
Yeah,
If I could just say one thing, I would like, I hear that the budget was asked for in a certain way. If I'm able to get clarity on what that looks like, I mean, coming from behind, I don't know what that looks like.
Absolutely.
So I would ask in fairness if
That's fair
someone could
enough.
share with me what is expected, what should it look like, what are the kind, that would be helpful.
100%.
We
As
are
we're working
starting
for a
that
finance
process with
Yeah.
her.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Happy to
And in terms of
provide,
a finance director, this is our delay, I mean,
happy to provide
We're
anything
trying.
and everything we can, so.
we have that, we can provide it to you.
Give us a little leeway if we assume that you know something that you don't, because
Okay.
we've been
I
at this for
appreciate
some
being able to
time,
ask.
so.
I'm like I said, Mr. McGrew, I gotta ask questions, because I can't assume, and I appreciate that thinking. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I like the idea of approving it conditional upon the August 1st date. But
Is that a motion?
I will make that motion.
Motion to,
I move to approve the FY '27 school improvement grant of $129,910, conditional upon a submitted budget from the school board by August 1 of '26.
And
do I have a second? Hearing none, motion fails.
This happened before.
Do we have
Ms.
any other
Bell,
motions?
Ms. Bell,
Yes,
I just want to tell you, the school was, needed to provide a budget before this board, no later than April 15th. So
yes.
that's
I
what
work
their
with the other
hesitancy
divi-
is. It's not
I'm aware of
personal.
that, so, I mean, I can only own what I own, but.
That's right.
I
We
know
just
as
sit
we
in
work
these
this year, That
seats.
would be our goal, because I've, you know,
Yep.
in the past with other divisions working towards that. We start in October.
Yeah, we do too.
So-
That's by code, isn't,
Yes.
oh, excuse me, April 1st. No.
She gonna do it on the first, they don't have a meeting till.
You don't even have to get budget done.
Yeah. Can we motion this?
You can debate whatever you like.
I can make a motion that we approve the $1,836.25 with the change that they get us a budget on 1 August.
Isn't that what I made?
That's the same.
Yeah, same one. He said I can do it, he said I can do it again, I mean.
So why didn't you second mine?
Cause I was sitting there wondering, she wouldn't give me an answer, that's why I second yours. I'm looking.
Ronnie, you didn't ask as nice as Joe did. So do we have a second?
Do it.
Yes, I'm gonna second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No more than I've said.
All right. all those in-
Clarification, though, the motion's for submitted budget by the school board, which they have already done multiple times. It's just not been approved and adopted by this board, so I'm not sure you're accomplishing what you're intending to do.
Well, in the format, maybe we need to, in the format we requested, and it may require we have a special meeting of this board to review that budget.
I just wanted to clarify, because if it was contingent on a submitted budget, that has already happened, and therefore you'd already be approving
So-
the form.
So a
But not
budget,
an approved budget, am
Right.
I correct?
we did approve our budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
However-
They approved the bottom line number.
Right.
You approved the bottom line, but you didn't
Right.
present a budget in the categories we requested.
That's
That's
right.
what I was going to say. So what you're asking for is a categorically corrected budget August 1st.
That's right.
All right. I just want to make sure we all know what, that's only fair if you
That's
know
I
what
heard,
they're
Joe. I think
actually
that was the
asking
motion
for.
Joe made.
I would just, to Supervisor Henry's comment, he may have, I may not have heard the number of the correct appropriation.
That's right. He read the wrong number.
129.
One
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing, I'm sorry, I read the wrong number, I'm sorry, my fault.
Do we want to amend the
I'm
motion?
getting old, I can't see good.
I'm just gonna restate the motion, is that Supervisor Henry made the motion to approve the school improvement grant in this amount of $129,910, contingent on having a school-approved budget submitted to the Board of Supervisors categorically listed as previously requested.
I will second that. Supervisor Henry made
So we
that
have a motion and a second. Hearing no additional discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Ayes have it. Thank you. All right.
Gentlemen,
Thank you, County
I
Administrator,
do
for
want to
keeping us
speak to
straight
one
on
more,
that.
and you guys can have a seat. I didn't bring it up tonight, but I want to bring it to everyone's attention. The Virginia Preschool Initiative, you'll find that it's not on our list here tonight for action. I spoke with the chairman of the school board today, and we both agreed that there needed to be some corrections to that with how it related to the calc tool. And I just want to get confirmation from this board that what we expect to see is, because we'd already, we were in favor of the VPI, but we questioned the numbers because they didn't match the budget that was presented, nor did it match the calc tool. And it's the intention of this board that any of those requests should match the calc tool unless there's some other explanation why. And so what I've requested back is if they're going to submit something for VPI, it should be based on the calc tool with a reasonable enrollment number for those classes, which I believe what we were told was 35, and we had our last meeting back in April or May. So I believe that is going to come back, and that will come back before us again, so.
And additionally, we talked about that at least for the, am I getting it right, the 3-year-old preschool, that should be eligible for Title IV grant or whatever?
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, so that, it did,
Yeah, so they're looking into that, and that's why
Okay,
we.
as long as they're doing that as well.
We pulled it off of this because there were some questions that we couldn't have answered, so we'd rather have it right when it comes before this board,
that'll work.
for us to take action on. So I'm confident that that's gonna happen when it comes back, so. With that, we'll move over to the Youth Incentive Fund. We were presented with a policy and procedures, the guidelines and applications. I know we had a slight edit to that. Supervisor Gill, would you like to make that motion?
Yeah, I will move to accept the Youth Enrichment Fund guidelines with the following edit. Under the third bullet, under selection process, striking that language to read something to the fashion of all qualified applications will be made to the Board of Supervisors for their final approval.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it.
thank you, gentlemen.
And finally, we have the proposed resolution 26-012 for the additional sales and use tax. Supervisor Magruder, would you like to make that motion?
I Motion to accept proposed resolution 26-012 as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We have no other items for closed session.
We have an appointment.
We made that.
You made that?
Board requested directives. August work session is going to be on August 11th, 2026 at 5 p.m. here at the Beal Boardroom, followed by a regular meeting at 7 p.m. And we also have a strategic planning meeting, August 13th, location to be determined. Also, I want to make mention, and Sheila, would you give us the dates for our fish fry event? 24th. So July 20. So we're going to have a fundraiser event for our favorite social services director on July 24th. So is that going to be at the fire station?
Yes, and it's gonna be like a drive-through.
And Sheriff Holmes, I believe, is going to be cooking something up? He's going to be frying the fish, so anybody that can come out and support Candace and our team and her family on July 24th. Do we have a certain time? Just tell me, Sheila. There's a certain time? 3:30 to 6:30. Please come out and join us out there on July 24th. And with that, you're welcome.
I have a question about the 6-year plan. When does VDOT come to do that? Because I think we've accomplished all but one thing on the 6-year plan. When do they come back to do our 6-year plan?
I actually don't remember the time frame. Do you remember? Yeah. We'll have to,
Just, you know,
we'll have
that's
to
fine.
call.
Just a question to ask. I just had that on my list here, so thank you, that's it.
There's no other,
I have one other event announcement. Wright Andrews is leading the Essex 250, Essex Resolutions reading event here at the Beal Boardroom on Saturday, the 11th. I believe it begins around 10 o'clock. Chuck Huntley has volunteered to support that, so they'll also stream it on YouTube for those that cannot attend. So if you want to celebrate Essex Resolutions and the 250th anniversary, all are welcome. So
thank you.
you're welcome.
Hearing no other dates or directives, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.